Ever feel like you're stuck in a broken record of arguments with your partner?
Oh, yeah.
Same old fights over and over.
Yeah. Been there.
Well, good news. We're hitting the stop button on that in this deep dive.
Right. Time for a change.
We're talking all about turning those conflicts
Yeah.
into connections.
I like it.
And guess what?
What?
We've got a whole pile of research, real-world tips.
Ooh, practical stuff, huh?
Yeah, all that to help you break those bad communication cycles. And you know what? Maybe even come out stronger on the other side.
Stronger and closer, I'd say.
Absolutely. I'm Terry, and I'll be steering this ship through the sometimes stormy seas of relationship.
Co-captain, helping us navigate those tricky communication waters.
Love that analogy. Together, we're going to unpack some seriously powerful communication techniques, ones that can help turn those head-butting moments.
Oh, I know those moments.
Yeah, we all do. Turn them into chances to grow closer.
Makes sense.
And hey, maybe even have a few laughs along the way.
All right. Absolutely. Got to find the humor in it all, right?
So true. Okay, first up on our journey.
Okay, what's that?
Active listening. Now, I know you've probably heard that one before.
It's a classic for a reason.
It is. But trust me,
Yeah.
there's a reason it keeps coming up.
It's got to be important.
It really is. It's like the foundation of a house. You mess that up, everything else crumbles.
Solid foundation, solid relationship.
Exactly. But we're not talking about just sitting there,
Uh,
quietly while your partner's talking. It's got to be more than that.
yeah, there's got to be something more to it.
Oh, there is. Active listening is about really engaging.
Like really tuning in.
Yeah, with everything they're saying, not just their words.
Oh, so it's like body language too.
Yeah, words and body language. It's about showing them, hey, I'm not just hearing you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get you to understand where you're coming from.
So how do we do that? What does that look like?
Think about those little nonverbal cues like nodding along, making eye contact, those little and ices, all those subtle signals that you're present in the moment.
Showing that you're paying attention.
Exactly. And here's a pro tip.
Ooh, I love pro tips.
Try paraphrasing what they just said.
Okay, so you're saying it back to them in your own words.
Kind of. Not only does it show you're listening,
Uh-huh.
it helps make sure you're both on the same page.
Yeah, like, did I hear you right?
Exactly. Because sometimes what we think we're saying
Yeah.
isn't what the other person's hearing.
Happens all the time, right? Miscommunication central.
It's like that game of telephone.
Oh, yeah, where the message gets all messed up by the end.
Exactly. So by paraphrasing, you're checking in.
Making sure there are no crossed wires.
Right. Saying, okay, I think I get what you're saying. Am I right?
Prevents those blow-up arguments later.
It really can. Prevent so many misunderstandings down the road.
Like building a bridge instead of a wall.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got active listening. But what about when those disagreements still pop up?
Yeah.
They're going to happen.
They do. It's like inevitable, right?
It is. And that's where we bring in the big guns.
Okay. What's that?
Empathy. And let me tell you, empathy's not just for therapists.
Or those touchy-feely types.
Yeah, it's a superpower we all have.
The superpower.
And it can seriously change the game in your relationships.
Interesting. Okay, so tell me more about this empathy superpower.
Some folks might think empathy. Isn't that just feeling sorry for someone?
Yeah, I can see how someone would think that.
But it's way more than that. Empathy is about understanding your partner's perspective,
Okay.
even when you don't agree with them.
Ooh, that's tough sometimes.
It can be. It's about stepping into their shoes, seeing the world through their eyes.
So like really trying to get where they're coming from?
Exactly. And here's a key point. Empathy doesn't mean you have to condone their actions,
Like you can still disagree with what they did.
Yeah. You can still disagree with their behavior, but you acknowledge their feelings.
So it's separating the action from the feeling.
That's a great way to put it. You can say, hey, I get why you're frustrated, even though I don't agree with how you handled it.
Validation is key.
It really is.
Yeah.
That simple act of validating their emotions, just saying, I see you, I hear you.
It's powerful stuff.
It can be incredibly powerful. It shows them you care, you're on their side.
Yeah, even when you don't see eye to eye.
Even then. So he's saying, hey, we're in this together.
I like that.
It's a pretty amazing feeling, right?
It is. To know that even when things are tough, you've got someone in your corner.
Totally.
Solidarity.
That's what it's all about.
So we've covered active listening and empathy.
Right. The foundation, the bedrock.
Yeah, like the essential ingredients.
But you know what?
But
Conflicts, they're still going to happen.
they do.
It's like that saying, can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Oh, yeah. Love that analogy.
So how do we go from, kitchen chaos to a delicious resolution? You know what I mean?
I do.
That's where conflict resolution comes in.
Ooh, those skills.
Big time. And one of the most effective things we found
Okay, tell me.
was this idea of really shifting the way we talk.
So, like, instead of...
Yeah, instead of attacking the person,
Right. Uh-huh.
you try to express how you're feeling.
So, like, instead of, you always leave your socks on the floor,
Oh, yeah.
it's more like, I get frustrated when I trip over socks.
Oh, that's so much better.
Right.
It takes the sting out.
Yeah, less blaming.
Nobody likes feeling attacked.
Nope, puts you right on the defensive.
And when you focus on your own emotions,
Uh-huh.
it invites your partner to try to understand where you're coming from.
Instead of feeling like they have to fight back.
Exactly. You're saying, hey, this is how I'm feeling.
Right.
Not pointing the finger saying, you're wrong.
It really does change the whole conversation.
Now, I know some folks might be thinking, but what if my partner is the one always attacking?
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
We'll get to that later in the deep dive.
Strategies for those situations.
Promise. But for now, let's focus on what we can control,
What we can do ourselves.
which is our own communication.
Right.
Because even if your partner's not doing all these new techniques, right, you can still change the energy by using them yourself.
Be the change.
Exactly. Okay, another big piece of conflict resolution.
Tell me more.
Choosing your battles.
Oh, that's a good one.
You can't fight about everything, right?
No way. Too exhausting.
It is. Is it really worth a big fight over who forgot the milk?
Sometimes it's easier to just get it yourself.
Right. Got to save your energy for the things that really matter.
Otherwise, you just end up drained.
And resentful, right?
Totally. Not a recipe for a happy relationship.
Not at all. So ask yourself, is this hill worth dying on?
I love that. Is it that important?
We've covered a lot so far. Active listening, empathy, choosing your battles.
It's a lot to take in.
It can feel kind of overwhelming.
It's like learning a new dance, right?
It is. It takes practice and patience to get the steps right.
And it's okay to mess up.
Yeah, even those missteps, they're learning opportunities.
As long as we learn from them.
Exactly. The key is to be curious. Be willing to experiment, right?
Totally.
Don't be scared to try these out. See what works for you and your partner.
Exactly.
Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Progress over perfection.
Now, earlier we talked about that secret phrase.
The magic words.
Can really help cool things down.
Yeah. Like a reset button.
Shifts things from, like, confrontation to curiosity.
Okay. I'm ready for the big reveal.
You ready?
Hit me with it.
It's help me understand.
Oh, wow.
Simple that.
Simple but powerful.
It really is. When you say that, you're showing your partner you're not judging them.
Right.
You're actually trying to get where they're coming from.
Even if you don't agree.
Even then. And that can be so disarming.
Takes the focus off being right.
Shifts it towards understanding each other.
Connection, not competition.
It's like saying, hey, I might not see it your way, but I want to get it.
That opens up a whole new space for talking, right?
It does. Genuine dialogue, and maybe even finding a solution.
A win-win.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, great in theory, but how does it work in real life?
Always got to bring it back to the real world.
Right. One thing that stood out in the research was this idea of role-playing.
Oh, like what therapists do.
Yeah. Helps couples practice these communication skills.
In a safe environment.
Safe space. And we thought, why not try it right here?
Fun.
So let's set the scene. You come home late from work, didn't call.
Uh-oh, trouble.
Your partner's upset, understandably so. I'll be the partner. You ready to play along?
Game on!
That was intense.
It really brings it to life, doesn't it?
It does. And it's amazing how just changing a few words can totally shift the whole vibe.
Yeah. From attack mode to understanding mode.
Right. And I think that's a big takeaway from all this.
What's that?
It's not about never fighting. It's about fighting better.
I like...
And you know what? The research backs that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, couples who can work through disagreements, they actually end up stronger.
Makes sense.
Their relationships are more satisfying.
So it's like those tough conversations, if you handle them right,
Yeah.
they can actually bring you closer?
They can. It's like turning those conflicts into opportunities to grow.
And deepen the connection.
Exactly. So as we wrap things up, what are some of the big things you hope listeners take away from this deep dive?
Well, I think the biggest one is that communication, it's a journey.
Not a destination.
Right. It's not a one-time fix, you know? It's about showing up every day, ready to listen, be compassionate, try to see your partner's side.
And remembering, it's not about being right. It's about connection.
Exactly. And that shift in mindset, that can change everything.
So true. It's like choosing to see your relationship as a team effort.
Yeah, working together.
You're both learning and growing together.
I love that. It takes the pressure off being perfect.
Yeah, allows for a little more grace, a little more understanding.
And remember, even small changes, they can make a huge difference.
It's like planting a seed, right?
It is. Nurture it, and it can grow into something amazing.
So for all you listeners out there struggling with the same old arguments, feeling stuck,
Like hitting a wall.
you have the power to change things.
You do.
And it starts with those first steps, you know,
Like what?
active listening.
Yeah.
Tap into that empathy superpower.
Choose your battles.
And when things get heated, remember those magic words.
Help me understand.
Exactly. Now, if you're feeling extra inspired,
Ready to take it to the next level?
we've got tons more resources on our Patreon.
Patreon.com/McAllister.
Bonus episodes, worksheets, whole community of people wanting better relationships.
It's a great group.
And if you're loving what we do,
Want to help us keep making this content?
you can always buy us a coffee.
Buymeacoffee.com/Jamie McAllister.
Every little bit helps.
Oh.
Quick reminder, we're not therapists,
Not professional advice.
but we hope this deep dive has given you some tools,
Some new ways to approach those conflicts.
turn them into connection.
Exactly.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, what resonated with you, any aha moments you had. Leave us a comment down below. Remember, communication is a journey. Keep learning, keep growing, keep talking. We'll see you next week for another deep dive. Until then, keep those sparks flying in your relationships. All content, copyright Jamie McAllister.